dominant team in the LCS have won.
That's a Zoomer.
The rookie 80 carry out of Korea, and he will do everything to uplift his team.
All players, please proceed to the Champions Floor.
Yes, I'll go my way. My shoes got sold. Got a strut in my walk now. Got a pocket full of sun. Won't sit, won't go down. I'm the winner, I can feel it in the city. Yeah, happy when I breathe it in it. Roll the dice for the 7, hit 11, hit a 7, hit 11 again. I'm all good. Got a 4-leaf clove. Y'all cannot go wood. It's my lucky day.
Oh my God! We're about to pop it off!
Yesterday I got burnt. Today I'm so tan. I was late to work. On a day my boss slept in. I got an overdraft. Till this morning I got paid. The devil can't stop me.
MVP access. Non-stop service to the top floor.
Got a 4-leaf clove. Y'all can not go wood. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. Lucky day. My lucky day. It is my lucky day. My lucky day. My lucky day. 'Cause I know today it's gonna go.
Right.
Welcome to the Parallel Convergence podcast, question mark? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. That is what we're here for. Yes, hi, welcome. I am Andesian, Brian Andesian Espinosa. Joined with me, as always, is Eric Squid Schwartzhead, Dr. Manhattan, whatever he prefers to be called upon this fine day. Mr. Watkins, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
I feel we are having a very lucky day here on the LCS. We got a banger of a little video there. Actually, 2 bangers of 2 videos, if you ask me.
I must admit, well done, surprised, intrigued, very well executed.
I've got to say, the new arena, which officially has been renamed to Riot Games Arena, the new arena is pretty lit, man. Like, it looks good.
The fact that you, of all people, are saying lit, but I really can't deny it. I can't.
What? Am I, like, past the age threshold where I'm allowed to say lit? Am I too old now?
Look, we are sitting here, especially me, as an elder millennial, so I take that into account with a lot of these things.
I mean, if I'm saying it's lit, something got to be good, right?
Yes, this is why I say it's weird that it prompts you to say that, but I can't disagree. And that in some ways scares me.
Insert, you're not drunk enough for me to be, or sorry, you're not high enough for me to be right.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
drunk
go.
enough for you to be right, because we can't violate rule number 3 on this show.
Well, I mean, technically, while being disembodied, Rule 3 would not be violated. But in the spirit of things, yes, let's go with that.
Help, I need an adult.
I warned you this was going to be a weird show with all of the things that you were mentioning before we went on air.
I mean, it was a weird day for the LCS. We may have had the shortest actual career of a professional player ever.
Hazo, what now?
Again, we may have had the shortest career of a pro player ever.
I heard you. I comprehended the words, but can a blue man get a little bit of context on that?
We're gonna let that cook and come back to that, actually. I have a feeling I'm gonna be getting called out for the whole let it cook thing.
First of all, between the hold up, let him cook memes and the fact that you may or may not be incorporating bits of a Hell's Kitchen from Gordon Ramsay, the show in the near future, if this becomes a thing, we'll see.
I gotta pull up a screen share, so you have to give me a moment here to get this working. In fact, 34 seconds would be great. Actually, no, sorry, that's 23 seconds.
23 seconds, you say? I can do that.
Fleeting, ephemeral, fleeting, Jugendrap, face code, split zone, ass mode, checks the tweets, und also E-Mails.
The hell?
In statements made moments before disaster.
Oh my god, this has shades of a Pittsburgh Pirates play-by-play guy in 1989 written all over it.
There's a thing on Monster Energy's website, because, we can't be bought, but we sure as hell can be rented. Please send me some Monster Import or the old school Monster Assault. Thank you. You can direct your sponsorship inquiries to podcast at AmericanWandy.com. I will also gladly accept White Pineapple Reserve. That shit's fucking addictive. As I actually sip on some Monster White Pineapple Reserve.
I brewed some coffee a long time ago with the Zero Sugar Monster. Tasted delicious. You heard me?
What?
Okay, you know how I cold brew coffee, right?
Yes.
You know how in the traditional cold brewing process, you use water, right?
Yes.
Well,
I would hope you would use water in any circumstance to brew coffee.
Well, after many, many conversations with someone I knew who that's a whole ass point of view, a rabbit hole, and a point to where even not Harry would know this. She mentioned her affinity for Monster, and I thought, well, if it's no sugar, what if I brew coffee with Monster? Make sure
All
it's
right,
nice
all right,
and-
all right, all right. We already know where the hell this is going. So, where the hell is my banner?
so hostile.
Yeah, so he did this. He does this interview. I should probably close that so I don't get an echo in my ear. I'm surprised it hasn't started yet. He does this interview with Monster Energy, who I believe sponsors Team Liquid, because Monster Energy sponsors everybody but this network. Again, we would love for that to change. Personally, my favorite flavors, again, Monster Import and Monster Import. The camera's doing stupid blurry shit. Sorry. And the Monster Reserve White Pineapple, which, as you can see, I am enjoying in a glass right now. We'll also take the old school assault with the old recipe, not the new recipe. And if you could bring back the M3 in the little tiny glass bottles, the like super triple quadruple concentrated stuff, mwah, I'd love you forever. You want to talk about a monster that you probably never heard of and you will probably never ever try unless you go to Japan. And even then, good luck. Monster 3. Or M with the exponent 3 on it.
So M cubed.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Again, A, math, B, konnichiwa bitches, C, coffee cold brewed with flat zero sugar Monster is fucking delicious. I took it black, well, as it were.
Yeah, you earned about 4 of those, but you went into a run-on joke, so you only get 1.
I'm fine with that.
You started out great with konnichiwa bitches, and then you hit the walk-off homer with I took it black. And now you understand why I'm laughing. But yeah, so he does this interview with Monster Energy, Monster Gaming, and he tells them, he says, if I lose to FlyQuest, I'll retire. Right? Well, let's go to LOL Esports and take a look at the live standings in the league, shall we?
Who was the Steve Jeltz? That's all I want to know.
Oh, hey, will you look at that? Team Liquid Honda is 0-1. Who did they play today? Oh, I don't know. Why don't we go back and look at the schedule? There we go. Oh, will you look at that? They lost to FlyQuest.
Again, who was the Steve Jeltz in this situation?
So instead of predictions made moments before disaster, we now have, if you would please,
I'm getting to it.
statements that will not hold up well under scrutiny, aka possibly the shortest foreign NA career ever of one game. Now, how embarrassing does it have to be to talk this much smack? Sorry, we're not a family safe show. To talk this much shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then actually fucking lose.
As embarrassing as the Pittsburgh Pirates play-by-play guy who, when the Pirates were up 10-0 on the cross-state rival Phillies, said if we lose this game, I'll walk to Pittsburgh. And he wound up having to walk back to Pittsburgh in part thanks to Steve Jeltz.
Which is where the who's going to be the Steve Jeltz is coming into play.
You're fucking right.
No. Let's do this correctly. You fucking A right. Come on.
You're fucking A right. And I was
There
looking
we
up
go.
the exact statistics.
Yeah. Not a good start for Team Liquid, who on paper has this like world champion in every role roster. Or at least it certainly sure as hell looks like it. Because we talked about this in the offseason, right? They got Piosic, they got I forget the name of the coach. They got the coach who's a former world champion. They got like 3 world champions on this team, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're an all-Korean fucking team.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that one. But well, we did. Go back and watch the archives. And they lose to FlyQuest. Piosic's going to end up having PTSD from playing in NA. Welcome to the war zone, buddy. Go get your oh my god. Is it Creedence Clearwater Revival that did Fortunate Son?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Go get your Fortunate Son montage and have a nice flight on the way back home after you realize, oh my god, what the fuck is this shit show? But we retransition here. Yeah, that FlyQuest, they put together a very good team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they walked out and demonstrated that, oh shit, they actually put together a pretty good team. Now, needless to say, you would sit there and be like, well, Andesian, it must have been close, right? Right?
I'm assuming because of the silence, it was not close.
I can't get the fucking thing to go away. Hold on a second here. Well, you know what? We're just going to play the last 30 seconds of the game, more or less.
Without sound, apparently?
Me. I mean,
In high definition without sound, apparently?
Oh, you don't need sound. It's literally Flowers just sitting there saying, oh shit, FlyQuest is about to win. What can Team Liquid do? All of the next turrets are dead.
Yeah, this was this
I
was
mean,
a pretty
look at the scoreline though, right?
13-4, big gold lead. This was an ass whooping.
14. FlyQuest literally took like 10 out of 11 towers, right? 13,000 gold lead, 11 kills ahead. 13 kills ahead. They literally just BM dove into Team Liquid's fountain.
Bam.
Like, Kobe says, we might have to put a warning on this VOD. That literally tells you everything you need to know about how much of a fucking shit show it was. Team Liquid was like, oh yeah, no, we'll go for Lucian Nami. That's the power pick right now. We'll take Jax, who's OP, right? After the mini rework. And FlyQuest is like, yeah, no. But yeah. That wasn't, it wasn't like it was even close or anything. It was just straight up. I expect to hear a retirement announcement by I don't know. Would tomorrow be too soon?
I mean, technically, since we're already past midnight, I mean, if we wake up in the morning and he hasn't tweeted anything about it.
All right, so with the spiciness of the week so far out of the way, I need the button. Where is it? I know we have it.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, you are correct. There is more.
Oh, dear Lord.
See, while we may have some choice words from Caster June for FlyQuest, or not FlyQuest, for Team Liquid and Piosic, more importantly, in reality, I think we got better choice words from Faker. Let's go to that now, shall we?
Onoki.
Yes. FlyQuest. Sorry, I keep saying FlyQuest. Team Liquid. Unlucky. See, you're fucking sitting here like, wait a minute, how the hell did FlyQuest do this? Yeah, unfortunately, not the only unlucky team today. And I am going to turn this damn blur off because it is just not cooperating today. It's probably because of the background lighting.
Oh, that reminds me. Lighting.
Yes.
Continue. This is a Sunday thing.
Oh.
You'll know it when you see it. Trust me.
I'm sure I will. I hope. They were nice the first time. Sorry you missed it. Shouldn't have missed it.
Again, A, replays. B, things can happen again. C, I'm in the middle of seeing in our private staff channel Discord, which is now open to the public, by the way. Link to said Discord available on our Twitter, twitter.com/NotANetworkPods. You'll see what I'm talking about and what I will be mentioning Sunday.
You're gonna have to get back to me on that one, maybe. That already exists. I've seen them before.
Oh, not specifically. You'll pay attention to that first word. That's your $1 million idea part. I will discuss in further detail.
I don't think you have to. I think I just got on the same page as you are. Buddy. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Brain?
Well, I think so, but where are we going to find a tattoo parlor open at this hour?
How are we going to get our logo to show up there? Okay, anyways, yes, Sunday point of view here on the network.
We're not on the same page, but damn it, you just gave me another idea.
Look, we got viewers. We got to keep it together here.
Sorry.
We actually got to be professional. Holy shit. And not just talk to the wall. Hi, Wall. How are you today?
Damn it, it wouldn't be here. Mutter. try to be professional, mutter. Anyway.
I mean, the studios are the same background color for. Let me shut my mouth. All right, so
Try and be professional. Try and be professional.
The loop. I knew he was going to forget the loop. Guess what?
You done messed up, Aaron.
I earned that one. I admit I earned that one.
All right. So, other teams that got unlucky today. 100 Thieves, game of the day, right? Rematch of the summer finals, Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves. Cloud9, relatively untouched roster. The only thing they did in the offseason is they bodied Jensen. Yes, that counter gets reset. Yes, that counts.
Okay, so
just like we reset the faker counter.
So now let me go ahead and do that.
Unfortunately, that's probably going to be the only one you get this season. Because, well, Jensen got bodied by C9 and is no longer on C9. He got a very last-minute deal with somebody. I don't remember who he got that last-minute deal with. Actually, that probably says something. Dignitas. That's what it was. It's like it's sitting there in my head. Like the logo, and I'm like, why can't I place this fucking logo? Yeah, he got picked up by Dignitas at like I wouldn't say last second, but it was definitely last. It was late in contract negotiations, that's for sure. Yeah, so C9 kind of one-sided swept the floor with 100 Thieves. The first professional game back for Double Lift in, what was it, 2 years? 3 years? Let me go actually get that number so we can do the math.
What do you think I'm looking for?
Okay. Let's see. TSM November of 2021. Wait, no. That was he was a. No, he stopped at 2020. Yeah. So his last professional game was the last groups stage game for TSM in Worlds of 2020. So Worlds 2020. And figured this out. So day 7 of Worlds 2020. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So Double Lift's last professional game was on October 3rd, 2020.
talk about why he's here.
Yeah. October 3rd, 2020.
Okay, so we're talking 2 in a little over a
Actually, no,
quarter.
sorry. I'm reading this wrong. I had these in ascending order instead of descending order. No, his last professional game was October 10th, 2020.
So again, 2 and a quarter and a bit years.
Yeah, and guess what? It was a giant, fat fucking L for him. Oh no! But you don't understand though.
But wait, there's more.
Now this is where you say, Andesian, how could there possibly be more?
I mean, how could there possibly be more unless you're throwing in certain things if I call within the next 10 minutes?
Well, if you do call within the next 10 minutes, I'll throw in 2,000 career kills. If you can get 2 kills in this game. Guess how many kills Double Lift got in the game?
0?
1.
That was going to be my next guess.
I mean, obviously, I'm not mentioning it for my own health. So, surely there had to be a point. So, yeah. Double Lift fails to meet the mark. It was either 1,500 or 2,000. I want to say it's 2,000. Which would put him in the same club as literally the man sitting 2 seats down from him in Bjergsen and Wild Turtle. Couldn't get it done. And they were hyping. Captain Flowers is hyping it up. He's like, now we know this is Double Lift. We know it's going to happen at some point during this game. So when he gets his second kill, you guys got to stand up and get real loud because that's his 2,000th kill in the LCS. It was a very unlucky day for 100 Thieves fans.
You unlucky!
I got to get some mileage out of that.
I mean, better now getting it out of the way early in the season.
Oh, I'm sure we'll as the season goes on, we'll figure out better segments for it. But yeah. So let's take a look at the standings after day 1 here. How can I get rid of this VOD? I don't want this to be here anymore. You just try refreshing. There we go. So at the end of day 1, Evil Geniuses TSM, surprisingly, Cloud9, CLG, and FlyQuest won their games, whereas Immortals, Dignitas, Team Liquid, Golden Guardians, and 100 Thieves did not. This is not the list I imagined to look at the end of day 1. I expected to see TSM and CLG on the other side of this coin, and Team Liquid and 100 Thieves on the other side of that coin. Although, yes, I know you're going to say, but Andy, those teams didn't play each other. I know, God damn it!
Again, so hostile. Is it the cringe? Would you like some cake?
So, you mentioned cake. That brings us to today's Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
I'd like to solve.
Yes.
Ban Yumi.
We would have also accepted ban Yumi cakes.
Well, I mean, there's only 2 words up there, so and technically under.
I'm too lazy to go make a new. I'm not drunk enough for this shit. I'm really not. In what I can only describe as cringe. We fired Dash for this? Are you honestly serious? You fired the esports host of the year for this blonde-haired chick who's self-admittedly bronze?
You know, it would have been better had you done that before we went on air, or at least loosened it up a bit.
Yeah, it's not budging. It hasn't been opened in a while. There it goes. That's what happens when you have a vintage bottle of Di Serrano. I'm going to need another couple of vintage bottles of Di Serrano. Get through the rest of this weekend in that cringe. I am sorry. I have nothing against whoever the fuck this girl is, right? Because admittedly, I don't know who the fuck Cutie Cinderella is, right? And admittedly, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. But this is not it, Riot. Flat out. Like, I'm sure if you go on Twitter, you're probably going to get like half of people saying, oh, she's great, let's keep her on, and half of the people go and cringe. But when you balance that between what I saw on Twitch chat as well, this is not the fucking way to go, right? Like, you already picked up, and I actually, because Dash, you know, the guy you fired, he has been approved to co-stream the LCS, and I stopped in, watched a little bit of his co-stream. I'm not huge on co-streaming, right? I'm my mentality for watching the LCS, for watching Worlds, has always been I want it straight from the source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my mind, the way I've always figured it is Riot takes the time, they develop these storylines season long, you know, they have the production value. And I'm not saying that, you know, some of these co-streamers don't have production value, because don't get me wrong, some of them really do go all out on this, right? But you get this, you get these storylines, you get, you know, I don't want to say quality analysis, but you get more than one viewpoint is probably the better way to put it.
Right.
Because usually most co-streamers are solo. Maybe they have somebody there with them, but most co-streamers are solo. At least that's my knowledge. I could be totally dead wrong. I know Sneaky Double Lift were a duo doing co-stream. I know there's a couple of notable duos that have done it, but most of them seem to be solo. I would rather get my information from the source. So I have nothing against co-streaming, but the broadcast got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go check out Dash. how he's hosted this. And I got into a little bit of a conversation with him in his chat because somebody was talking about, you know, hey, the value of picking up double lift for branding and so on and so forth. And I tell him, I'm like, well, what do you, do you agree or disagree that it's more beneficial for the LCS to have gotten double lift back as a pro player than it is for 100 Thieves? And he's like, oh yeah, there's no question. And I my hot take for the whole situation here is, I think that you have put yourself into a situation where you're negating the gains that you're getting by having double lift coming back to the LCS by doing this cringe shit of dressing a pro player up in a chef hat and apron alongside, dare I say it, Dr. Manhattan?
I mean, we do have viewers. You did mention it. To be fair, especially with previous conversations and previous admissions and of certain things and other dreams and stuff that have sparked conversations, we've delved down this rabbit hole before.
Ditzy blondes who don't know jack about the damn game and are clearly not hosting talent material. Again, I have nothing against Cutie Cinderella. I'm sure she's a great content creator. This is not her space, right? To me, she just doesn't come off well. Now, I don't know if this is Riot telling her, hey, we want you to be as cringe as possible and, like, just be, like, ditzy. Because that's really the only word that seems to be coming to my head. That's not offensive. Because I'm not trying to be offensive. But I say this in the nicest way possible, but she needs to be sacked. Now, ideally, you bring back Dash, right? Or hell, this whole rotating caster, analyst, host thing that they're doing, very similarly to the LEC, kind of, sort of, but the LEC still manages to have a place for Shocks. Because Shocks is kind of more integrated into the analyst desk. You bring back Dash, right? And, talking with him on his stream today and everything, Dash has been around this game a very long time. Even if you cannot mechanically execute, right?
Mm-hmm.
That does not disregard, that's the word I'm looking for, disregard the fact that you can know a shitload of information about this game.
Mm-hmm.
And by being around professional players and professional analysts that tell you how this high level play is supposed to be, you can kind of understand and learn the game and be able to provide your own opinion and analysis, right?
Right.
And be able to keep up at a not get laughed out of the room level. And Dash is more than capable of keeping up at that level. So why not work him in more on the analyst side of things, and he can kind of wear two hats? I know he's supposed to have this roadshow thing coming up, which I didn't see at all today. I imagine with it being a bit of a last-minute placating announcement to the fans, because that's really what it was. Let's be realistic. It's probably not been filmed yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine we'll see that in weeks to come, possibly, if they don't release it as just a standalone YouTube thing. But the whole point of the fans, yelling boycott LCS was to get Dash back on the actual day broadcast and not on a YouTube feed like, LCS Countdown or Freak's old road show. Because, God, if I can remember what the hell that's called off the top of my head right now. Some bad pun, I know that. I kind of woke up and chose violence today, I think.
You think? Do you have any idea how many times I saw you in all caps in your thread and breaking this down? You think you chose violence?
Go back and watch some VODs, is what I'm going to say to that. And don't tell me that you're not going to erupt in that same all caps, what the fuck, please kill it with fire, make it stop.
I mean, I saw some of the cake things, but I wasn't entirely paying attention because, man, when you work like I do, traveling across the universe, sometimes you need a nap.
I thought ethereal beings from Mars didn't need sleep.
Okay, ethereal godlike beings, just because we get into horrific reactor accidents, there's still a base human in there somewhere.
But yeah, no, I'm the cake thing. I'm just why. And out of all things, Yumi. Why Yumi? We all hate Yumi. What were you gonna do? Throw the cake in somebody's face? Were we gonna turn this into a bad episode of the Nick show with slime? Were we gonna turn this into what would you do? Like, come on.
I mean, granted, there are some very interesting hidden talents with some of these players, but that's beside the point.
Well, that's probably what Dash's show is supposed to uncover.
But I mean, if you think about it, I liken that to being the third hour of the Today Show when you want more of the content from the first and second hour. News and substance rather than different women sometimes drinking, if that makes sense.
So you're saying nobody turns into the third hour of Today's Show to see Hoda Kotb drinking?
And outside of a certain demographic, no, they don't. And if you're in
I don't know where I was going with that, but I think you do. So you're bailing me out, which I appreciate. I'm just sitting here like, Today's Show, I need to make a Hoda Kotb joke. Why Hoda Kotb? That's why.
Wait. If we're going to do this right,
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Get out of my head. To our three viewers, we hope you're enjoying this thing we call a show here on the Data Network. Data Network podcast. Man, that fucking D. Sciroto has been aging. I took like a good ounce and a half shot of that, and fucking my head's fucking burning already.
So you're saying you are drunk enough for this shit. Good to know.
I may possibly be at least tipsy enough for this shit. Unlike a certain Harry Broadhurst, who definitely was not drunk enough for my shit earlier on the Broadhurst Watkins Sports Report.
Sports in black and white.
Ahora disponible en español. I'm tipsy enough, but I'm not drunk enough for this shit. Maybe another swing of the D Sharona, I'll be good. But we're not triple heading. We're not triple heading point of viewer tonight. So
no, we're not, because I got battle bots and then bed.
Oh, fuck me. All right. So I will say I watched the entirety of the whatchamacallit. I watched the entirety of the FlyQuest game. I watched the entirety of the whatchamacallit. I watched most of the game after that, which was honestly, I can't remember. You know what? We're gonna take 35 seconds. By the way, shout out to my boy Steven Stamkos, 500 career goals, going after that greatest of all time status.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I chuckle that out loud? I don't know where that came from.
Shove it up your ass. Look, you can't argue that Steven Stamkos is not up there.
Okay, top 25?
You know what? I'm tipsy enough to allow that without any further debate. Yeah, so game one, which is the one I really paid the most attention to because, again, Riot scheduling is fucked. People have other things to do in the middle of the afternoon. Take naps and shit.
Take naps, work.
Household chores, things like that. What the fuck was with 100 Thieves draft, though? Like, I feel like they were setting themselves up for failure from the word go to begin with. Because I understand that, on your roster, your support is a former mid laner. So, maybe he's going to be better at flexing some traditional mid lane mage picks into the support role, right? Syndra comes to mind as an example. But what the fuck is with the Azir support pick? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with that when you have Varus as your AD carry? Like, the only utility you could even possibly think to want to try to provide is your wall, which, what are you going to do? You get one good wall in a 42-minute game that makes it onto a single highlight reel that doesn't get seen past week 2? Like, I'm legitimately trying to figure out what the hell that strategy was. Because it definitely was not a good one. That's for sure. Obviously, it got them an L. It got them a very big, fat L. It's not like it was one side. It's not like it was even or anything. It was obviously one-sided. It was about as one-sided as the FlyQuest game we showed. I don't know. I feel like on paper, when you look at all of these rosters, right?
Mm-hmm.
you think, oh man, there's a pretty good amount of parity between teams in the LCS this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
C900 Thieves, totally one-sided in the favor of C9. Evil Geniuses, Golden Guardians, okay, that goes even. Team Liquid FlyQuest, totally one-sided into the favor of FlyQuest, right? C9 versus Dignitas, very much a barn burner kind of sorta. CLG manages to put up about a 12.5k gold lead and 5 kill difference, but I'm not entirely sure I would call it entirely lopsided. I guess maybe you can. 10-6, 11 towers, 12k gold lead. It's about the same margin, honestly, I think, as FlyQuest was. So I guess, yeah, you could say another lopsided game. Didn't
So what
feel
you're
as lopsided, but lopsided game. Immortals TSM. I mean, that's another, last game of the day, right? Let me I'm pulling up the stats on that one because I didn't see that one at all. I was tuned into BWSR. Another lopsided game. 2 kills for Immortals to 9 on TSM. Gold lead was actually pretty even, though. Gold lead and towers were actually almost even. 6-7, 1.5k gold lead in favor of TSM. Looks like at the end of the game, when all was settled, it's about a 2,500 gold lead here. Yeah. And is this 11-2? I'm watching the VOD on the other screen right now. Yeah, so this is 12-2 in favor of TSM. 12 kills to 2, a little bit close to 3k gold lead. Towers mostly even 8-6 in favor of TSM. So not as much of a one-sided curb stomp as the other games were, but not entirely even, I think, is safe to say there. As I look to Dr. Manhattan for the ruling.
Yeah, I would call that kind of mid-range lopsided. It's one of those that kind of runs away late.
It's still lopsided, but it wasn't like a runaway lock game, to use Jeopardy terms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those to where it gets away from you late.
Yeah. But my point is 5 out of 6 games, right? Or sorry, 4 out of 5 games, excuse me. And 4 out of your 5 games are just 3 out of your 5 games are utterly like curb stomp lopsided, right? One of your games is like, if it stalled out, it was going to run away regardless. And then turn into, curb stomp lopsided affair. One game goes even. Did somebody say we had parity? What is this parity you speak of? I don't know anybody named Parity.
Parity? Hardly know her.
Or keep saying parody and referring to it as a person kind of reminds me of one of my old high school teachers whose name was Verity. Shout out to you, Miss Verity. Probably not listening, but hey, you never know. Yeah. I wonder what tomorrow is going to bring. And I say that half sarcastically, half serious.
I mean, like
because if the league continues to go in this direction, right? And I'm going to pull up the schedule here for tomorrow. If the league continues to run in this direction, that whole everybody talking about parity and there's teams that look good and there's teams that have a shot and there's teams that, and maybe I'm not so sure about this, Peter, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see a very clear, it's kind of going to be like how it normally is. You're going to see a very clear emergence of the top tier talent, followed by the could be better with a roster change. Or you have a problem person on your team that needs improvement. Otherwise, you're a good team. And then you have your bottom feeders. I think the weird thing about it is the teams that we traditionally view as the bottom feeders and the teams that we traditionally view at the top of the stack just might be different this go around. Namely, looking at CLG and TSM, who have been underperforming for the past couple of seasons now.
Yeah, well, sometimes you have those teams that underperform. They turn around at just the right time with the right talent, and the other teams in chaos and weakening. And the next thing you know, what, bam!
Now, I know it's early to call all this shit because it's only day one of week one, right? Like, obviously, we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves here. But to use an old Riot meme here, this could become a worrying trend. I have a feeling I'd be getting a death glare if somebody wasn't so damn disembodied.
Not entirely death glare, more like potential for secondary reference, but it would be a minor stretch.
Well, our 3 viewers are still somehow miraculously here, so sure.
Oh, could be a worrying trend, and then as we progress through the split, oh, it's getting ugly. Oh, well, this could be getting ugly. It's getting ugly. It's gotten ugly. We saw this coming from long ago, kind of a situation.
But wait. We got a thing for this. Where the hell is it? We got a thing for this. Hold on.
Beckham got a block, got a couple of them. And this may be a flag. And then a kick by Beckham. Tell you, this game's got a chance to get ugly. It might get ugly right now. It is getting ugly right now.
Yeah, that could be pretty much the split.
I have a feeling that there very much is going to be a potential for a Kevin Harlan style I'm calling both games scenario here, where these casters are, coming into spring split or spring finals looking at, well, if XY is going to get in, they've got to beat them right now. And the crowd knows it. And they're cheering. And the point's good. Wait, what game are you calling right now? I'm calling
both games.
Shout outs to Kevin Harlan. Fucking OG, man. That's a G right there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put him on national TV more often than the crap we're getting. I mean, the wonderful, fine talent that we have on air currently.
Well, some of it isn't too bad.
Thursday Night Football.
Okay, that's Amazon Prime, though. You know how much Jeff Bezos likes to spend $1 billion on a bunch of crap. How do you think we got Rings of Power?
If he could spend $1 billion on buying, hold on. Pull up the banner.
Wait, which one? Which one? There's a
Okay,
few.
you know what? You know what? I actually can't be mad because there are a couple different ones that apply to the situation.
You see what I mean? Sitting there, getting ready to give me the death glare, bitch.
There you go. The Parallel Convergence Sports Report. That's what we need. That's what I'm looking for. Because we're not that worked up where we're going into the Andy hour, and
Although
we're not at the level of Andy's final thought on this. But I will say this: if Jeff Bezos can spend $1 billion to buy the rights to Thursday Night Football, he can give Kevin Harlan $10 million to come fucking do the play-by-play.
well, I mean, that's not necessarily
Chris Collinsworth needs to fucking retire.
Well, Chris Collinsworth does Sunday nights. It's Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on Thursdays. And damn it, that ain't Al Michaels' fault if you got games that actually cash major bets because no one scores a damn touchdown.
I thought Collinsworth was doing Thursday night.
No, Collinsworth is still Sunday nights.
Who the hell is the insufferable bastard doing Thursday night that makes me not want to watch it then?
I told you, Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. And Al Michaels is in giving no fucks mode when you have what?
Al Michaels. I don't know why Al Michaels did not want to register there for a minute. But yes, we are this is the Parallel Convergence Sports Report.
Sports and bits and bytes.
There we go. Take that, Harry Broadhurst. Oh wait, we can't drive him to quit. I already had to fire him at a firing level of over 9,000 and rehire him at a hiring level of over 8,000.
Appreciate that you went with both the normal English version.
I knew when you were cracking up. You were like, this son of a bitch. This son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had.
I saw what you did there.
Like crap. Japanese version. No, I had that planned the whole time. I wasn't gonna. I knew I was gonna have to type the rehire bit.
But had anyways, a feeling.
You all just went with that and set me up for it perfectly. This is why my name is Blue. Because I can fucking get away, I can set up shit and execute from the fucking chat. But anyways, enough chatting about chat, and we'll chat about tomorrow's matchups here as we go back to the schedule as I digressed talking about Kevin Harlan for a moment.
Well, at least we crossed the hour mark, so that's a good sign.
We will very quickly here check the tweets. I mean, no, we're just going to check the schedule. For tomorrow's games, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern local time. The broadcast is going to start at 4 p.m., it appears. We've got Evil Geniuses and CLG. We've got Golden Guardians and Cloud9. We've got TSM and Team Liquid. We got 100 Thieves and Immortals. We got FlyQuest and Dignitas. That's it. That's the tweet. That's the schedule.
I mean,
what do you think I'm going to sit here and give out the official power rankings of Andesian?
Well, I mean, I was anticipating some minor level of analysis, but again, one day doth not a split make, so I can understand your hesitance.
Look, we are not playing perfect pick'ems predictions here, okay? I ain't got to predict shit. See, we don't have the all-new Predictomatic. That's Worlds. Staff not responsible.
And yes, infringing on your own gimmick is still gimmick infringement. We are big fans of self-infringement, as we are a lot of things.
Why? Because we thrive in the chaos. That's why. I can't do it with a straight face. So I have to issue a correction. I went back and looked at the actual because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I wanted to know the number of kills for double lift because I felt like I was wrong.
So basically, you're admitting
You done messed up, Aaron!
Look, you either get that clip and get a setup into admitting you're wrong, or you hear random thoughts in the mind of Dr. Manhattan. And even though we're broadcasting past the watershed hour, I don't necessarily know if you're going to want to go down that road just yet.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I knew it. I love when he does that.
I'm afraid I got some bad news. Actually, no, I got good news. Double lift did do it.
Okay.
And it was 2,100 kills. Apparently, he got very last minute, which I tuned away from for a second there. So that's probably why I missed it. That, and they didn't go crazy about it on broadcast, which I was kind of expecting them to if he actually got it. So I thought he didn't get it.
Well, I mean, 2,000, 2,500, 1,500, fine. 2,100? Yeah, no.
I mean, 2,100 is still a pretty fucking big threshold, right? Now, there's no way Double Lift is going to catch up to Bjergsen unless Bjergsen takes a 2-year hiatus from playing. Bjergsen is at the start of the season 2290, where Double Lift was 2098.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with 2048, which is a good time-killing game.
Among others, yes.
But you don't need internet or data for.
This is true.
Yeah, so that's the opening day. Cringe abounds. Double lift washed, question mark, interrobang, question mark. New C9 roster, which is really the old C9 roster, except for Jensen, who has been sufficiently bodied. Looks great. The new Riot Games arena is lit. Cutie Cinderella has got to go because she is more annoying than the annoying orange. But if you get rid of her, the hostless format's okay. But I'd still rather have Dash back.
But you know what?
And no more decorating food on air. This is supposed to be a professional broadcast. I can't complete the rest of this sentence because we're not on point of viewer.
But you know what I have to say to you at the end of the day when it comes to certain things?
What?
It's only a game.
Why you have to be mad?
Is only host. Why you have to be shit?
Well played, Andesian. Well played. Wasn't expecting that, you son of a bitch.
Look, motherfucker, I already referenced it once tonight. We thrive in some chaos, okay? I only need a little bit. Chaos or some good liquor, and I got a little bit of both going on right now.
I'm about to say, we got a lot of redundancies in that department.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. Okay. Oh, God. All right. I didn't look at the broadcast viewership numbers at all today for LCS. I kind of forgot. I'll take a look at tomorrow's numbers. I'll say this after having seen a day, and you can go ahead and put up the final thought on this one.
Please
we
hold.
don't need the music.
Well, never mind then.
As you so eloquently put it, one day doth a split does not make. However, having seen the opening day, because the yesterday was the opening day. Yes, this is the opening week, but there's only one opening day.
Unless you're baseball.
Don't get me started. Because I already saw what's going on with, what is it, the Angels that reneged on their sell deal?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably wasn't expecting you to know about that, were you?
No, I wasn't, especially with your, lack of attention in baseball, question mark?
So generally, yeah, that's probably not an inaccurate statement. I pretty much stick to following news about the Rays, and that's about it. So yeah, not an entirely inaccurate statement. But anyways, I can understand the format changes and the direction that seemingly Riot wants to go. Well, I shouldn't say Riot. I should say the LCS, because it's the LCS. That the LCS wants to go in, right? Like, I understand it. I don't know if I like it. Like, objectively speaking, like with tons of bias and everything, yeah, I don't like it. Right? But who is gonna like it? If you're a 10-year veteran of watching the LCS like I am, you pretty much hate any change that comes to the LCS. Because by human nature, we don't like change. But removing that subjectivity and objectivity from it, I like it, but it needs tweaks. It needs the right people. And I'm not 100% sure that Cutie Cinderella is the right person for this. Because it effectively feels like, if you watch the broadcast today, it effectively feels like she's the host, right? Like, she was more or less in a, interviewer kind of guiding the show along mode kind of deal, but over the whole flex of the whole day, it kind of pretty much felt like she was doing a host job. And I can't say for sure that I like that, or more importantly, that I felt it was fair to Dash. And that's somebody I kind of feel for right now, right? Because obviously, after you get sacked, you probably don't really have much of an idea of what the direction or what direction that the broadcast is going in anymore, right? Because you get removed from that, those conversations and information and stuff. You got to sit at home on your couch and, I don't know if you have to co-stream. I think if you get accepted, you are obligated, like you get contractually obligated by the agreement to co-stream all the games. I don't know how that works. But it's opening day, so effectively you're obligated to sit there on your couch or whatever and co-stream the opening day, and then you see the shit that they did. And honestly, I don't know if I want to know what's going through that man's head, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was something along the fact of, you done fucked up LCS.
Not wrong whatsoever.
Like, I feel for the guy sitting there, accepted, esports host, of the year 2 months ago, a month ago, late December, already knowing that he's been fired by Riot. And then he gets in today and see this shit and be like, they replaced me, esports host of the year, with this shit.
Yeah, they would not have wanted me to give any sort of acceptance speech in those shoes.
I mean, shout outs to Dash for being professional about the whole thing. And, obviously he's been a bit candid than, given the whole situation. He's been candid about some things. But I can't imagine that he's not holding back somewhat, because it makes sense for him to, because of this whole experiment, because honestly, I think that's what it is. And you'd be hard pressed to argue me that it isn't an experiment by the LCS right now. If this fails and goes south, that, he doesn't burn a bridge with Riot where now they don't want him back because he's damaged the brand too much, or perceived to have damaged the brand too much. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. Basically not created the best of looks.
Yeah. So yeah, he's being a bit more candid with what he has to say about the whole situation, how things went, his opinion on things. But obviously, he still has a bit of a poker face on, we don't know what's in his hand. He's still keeping that hand well guarded, and I don't blame him. Right? He's still got a river draw coming up.
Basically, what he's trying to do is the opposite, although well warranted, of what happened with Ed Reed.
Isn't he the football coach that just got fired a couple days ago?
Not quite got fired, but more like wound up not being officially hired.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
But I see where Riot's going with this. It could work, but it still needs work, right? Your visuals that you have backing this up are amazing, right? Clearly, you sunk a very expensive shiny penny into the remodeling of the entire LCS arena building. Like, they clearly didn't just do the stage. They created a special analyst area or analyst room. They redid the podium for the casters. Like, clearly they spent a good chunk of change in doing that during Worlds. And through the and up through to the holiday break. And possibly even during then. That side of things looks amazing. Right? Like Riot doesn't tend to fuck up in that regard. Extremely rarely. Yeah, okay, they took an L on the fucking cinematic video, but there are unconfirmed explanations which make sense as to why that happened. I don't like to speculate too much on here, at least not in regards to that sort of thing. So I'm not going to mention that here, but your talent side of things needs work. Rafa coming in, Rafa was a lot of high energy. He's going to make a great addition to the cast, I feel. He's a little rough around the edges. Yeah, he came from another region. Sure, he's got to get used to NA and, our level of hype and crowds and so on. But I think he's going to be a good addition here. But I feel like we need more talent, and we need to not alienate the talent that we currently have, especially given the talent departures that we had. Right? Dash was entirely unnecessary. Freak, I mean, good on Freak. He wants to, go off and, play balancing team, then, by all means go for it, man. And I don't say that to be degrading or demeaning either. Like, you want to be on the balancing team? Hey, give me a couple of Caitlyn or give me some ADC buffs so it doesn't feel like I'm a wet fucking noodle. And, I'll be great. I'm happy. And I know you're an ADC main, so I know you're going to want to buff ADCs. And I already see you with the Yuumi nerf that should hopefully finally be the nail in the coffin for Yuumi in professional play. Which we'll talk about that next week. Why? Because fucking bad Yuumi, that's why.
No, you're not throwing any specific ideas or favors or anything out there at all. You're not just going to randomly shout out your requests. No, that's not like you, Andesian.
For all network complaints at HEB to Eagle, HEB to Eagle, yahoo.com. We normally have a ticker for that, but somebody's too busy laughing their ass off. But, like I said, the LCS, they're good first steps here for as radical of a change as you've made. Ask me how I feel at the middle of the season and at the end of the spring finals. And I'll tell you whether or not I think this is going to be, whether or not I think this was a success or not. Because if Riot is truly going to commit to the LCS, like they claim that they want to commit to the LCS and listen to fan feedback and so on and so forth, because boy, did we get a handful from basically the two most important and powerful people in esports, thanks to Travis Gafford over the past couple weeks. I feel like you've got to listen to feedback now and continue to listen to feedback throughout the season. Now, obviously, you have to listen to all of it. You obviously don't want to implement all of it, and some of it's going to be subjective, right? I think it's, if not having Dash on air is truly a direction you want to go in, that is going to take a significant amount of time for your viewers to process, myself included, right? We are used to the signature chimes of the LCS. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. And, you know, the first thing you hear after that is Dash. It's been that way for 10, 11, 12 fucking years. So it's going to take a long time, and you can't get mad at the community if they keep fucking saying bring Dash back, right? Or XYZ host sucks. Now, you get onto a slippery slope there because there's probably going to be some people who say XYZ host just for the simple fact that it isn't Dash. But you're also going to get some people like myself who legitimately are saying, yeah, sure, I want Dash back, but please give me anybody other than the person you have on air right now. And frankly, that's how I feel about this cutie Cinderella chick. I mean, I don't know if this was LCS writers that did this, or if this was just, you know, off the cuff ad lib her, but asking pro players to boost her out of bronze? Come on, Riot. We know you fined people, suspended people, competitive integrity sanctions over that shit in LCS, LEC, almost every region at this point for ELO boosting. Hell, do we need to remind you about the fucking ringer circle that you had going on in Vietnam just last summer? Not a good look. Maybe a joke, but not a good look when you've got fucking Fudge in the most uncomfortable interview ever where she's like, hey, can you boost me? And he's like, I can't answer that on air.
Yeah, it's not a good look when you're trying to essentially troll yourself.
And that's what I think she was kind of doing, which self-deprecating humor has a time and place. Self-deprecating humor works for, and I'm going to roll this back to BWSR if you saw this earlier this evening. Self-deprecating humor works for the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
True.
You could sit there and be Jeff Foxworthy and say you might be a redneck if you put change in the offering plate, or put money in the offering plate and expect change.
That was so hilarious, but I'm like,
Look, my show, I'll fucking say it. I don't care. Hate mail goes to Harry anyway. Yeah, he's only ever told that joke once, and it was on a Columbia House Blue Collar Comedy Tour CD.
Well, no wonder Columbia House.
I've literally never. He's reused a lot of his "You Might Be a Redneck," but I've never heard him reuse that one. My mom had the CD. I listened to it growing up. I laughed my ass off every time I did. I never once heard him reuse that specific "You Might Be a Redneck." But that aside, we can talk about that more on Sunday if we really want to, which we might. Self-deprecating humor works for certain people and works for certain situations, right? If Riot wants themselves to be a top-class broadcast, right, then self-deprecating humor is not the way to go. It just isn't. And maybe we won't get more of it through the rest of the week. It is week/weekend. I don't know what the hell we're calling this anymore. I'll probably still call it weekend just out of force of habit. The LCS, I think, is on to something, right? I was watching LEC the other day, And I fucking said something in our private Discord chat here to Dr. Manhattan, who I think has ethereally poofed for a moment, based on the beeping from the engines we've heard in the background, spaceships and all that. Let me scroll back up and find it. Yeah, so I was watching the LEC on Monday. 126,000 viewers on Twitch at 2 p.m. Eastern. Riot might be onto something with this NA viewership scheme, right? But the LEC is a polished work, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have they know what works for them. They have great production. They have a recognizable cast, and well, quite frankly, their gimmicks are funnier than the shit that the LCS pulls. They've got good writers. Now, whether or not those writers are the talent themselves, which they might be, maybe that's why. I don't know. But I think Riot may be onto something with the whole, yeah, let's put it early in the afternoon or earlier in the evening on, a weekday. But you have to make it enticing, right? And right now, I don't know if you've exactly made this entirely enticing. That's the problem that I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is I don't know if you've made, again, one season doth the split this, or one day doth the split does not make, but I am curious if Riot can make the LCS into the same type of product that the LEC is. Because, the LEC, the league formerly known as the LEC, which we really need a fucking counter for that at this point.
When are we starting that counter at?
How about right now? Since this is technically officially now the kickoff of the season. I mean, yeah, we counted last week, but whatever. It's not like we're betting on Nevada because 21 means 21. God damn it. Follow all local gambling laws. 1-800-GAMBLER if you need help. And betting on actual over-unders on these counters. But I am very curious to see if Riot can shape the LCS into the same type of product that the LEC is and have it be successful. Because I feel like that's the direction that the LCS is going in to some extent, right? I think they want to copy the LEC to some extent, but still have their own unique identity, but somehow also still make it their own. Which is an interesting balance. And that's my final thought on what I've seen today is effectively it's promising, but I'm not getting my hopes up quite yet. As the illustrious JTN is playing Risk in his room in the background and inadvertently getting overheard on the broadcast. Because of course he is.
I mean, as long as he doesn't really go aggressive on the purples, he'll be fine.
This is JTN we're talking about.
Fair.
With that said, that's going to be the show. I think the final thought probably ran a little bit longer than it probably should have, but hey, you know what? It's my show. If I want to rant on a final thought, I'm going to rant on a final thought. So yeah, LCS, you got work to do. I'm not unimpressed where I don't want to tune in tomorrow, although I came closer than you probably would be comfortable with. And if the sentimental thought that I had is the same around the viewers of my demographic, of that, you know, mid-30s, long-time LCS viewer, you might have a problem. Not to be confused with, you might be a redneck. To quote a redneck favorite show, take care of yourselves and each other.